Hello and welcome to this lesson on understanding what notes and semitones and tones and the major scale and the natural minor scale all are. Before I get into this, I want to say a special hello to Jess and her daughter Ava. Jess sent me a lovely email saying that she's a fan of my YouTube videos and she watches them all, and she and her daughter really enjoy them. And she said to me in this email, would I give her and her daughter a shout out? So here we are. Hi Jess, hi Ava, hope you enjoy this video and the ones to come, and I hope you're fit and well. So in this lesson we're going to talk about, first of all, what is a note, and that might sound like a really basic thing, but some people don't really get the difference between notes and tones and semitones, so I'm going to clear that up first of all. So if I play this note on the keyboard, and I'm going to be playing the keyboard with my fingers, not with my thumb, so that I can try and show you as much of the note as possible, rather than using software to show you the notes. I'm using an actual keyboard here, which I think is better. So this note here is middle C. It's the C in the middle of the piano, and if I play that on its own, that is a note. The definition of a note is a single tone of a specified pitch that is sustained or held for a given duration. So in other words, it's not a chord. A chord is where we have lots of notes. Specified pitch means how high or how low it is, and sustained means how long we hear it for. So you can have a short note like that, or a long note like that. That's a note. Now, this business of semitones and tones. So what is a semitone? Right, a semitone is not a note. It's actually the shortest distance between two notes. So if I play that C again, and I move up to the next note on my keyboard, which is this black note, just to the right of it and up a bit, that note is C sharp. Now those two notes, C and C sharp, are a semitone apart. So the distance in pitch between this note and this note is a semitone. So if that's a semitone, if I go from this note to this note, that must be a tone, two semitones. One semitone, two semitones. Okay, so from C to D is a tone, and from C to C sharp is a semitone. Okay, so semitones and tones are not notes. Very important to understand that. And by the way, this black note that I played, we can call it C sharp, one up from C, and we can call it D flat, one down from D. So C sharp and D flat are the same thing. We say that those two notes are enharmonic, E-N-H-A-R-M-O-N-I-C, enharmonic. Don't worry about that, that's just a posh word. All you need to remember is that C sharp is D flat. So if that's D, and that's D sharp, and that's E, that must be E flat. So D sharp and E flat are the same thing. Okay? Some people call semitones steps. So they say from C to C sharp is one step. Okay, from C sharp to D is one step. Okay, so a step, if you hear that word, just say the word semitone. Same thing. So let's have a look at this scale here. It says the chromatic scale of C, sometimes known as the 12-tone scale. Let's just have a listen to it. So what do we mean by chromatic? Well, it's pretty simple. It's every note that we come to as we move up our keyboard. So if I go from C to C sharp to D sharp to E to F sharp and so on, that is playing chromatically, playing every note that I come to, all the white notes, all the black notes, as I move up or down the keyboard. The scale that we played there was an ascending or going up scale. We've got semitones, 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 semitones. They're all semitone steps, and you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 semitones, 12 steps, 12 distances to deal with, and they're all very simple because it's going from one note to another, the nearest note. So pretty straightforward. That's the chromatic scale, playing chromatically. And sometimes we do that in a tune, and you know, that's what it is. If you hear that, if you hear a run of notes that are really close to each other in pitch, that's called playing chromatically. Okay? I started at C, but you don't have to start there. You could start at A and go up chromatically. And that would be the same thing. That would be a chromatic scale of A. So something you've probably heard about a lot if you're just starting music is the major scale. And why is it so important? Well, because much of what we do is based upon it. So you need to understand it, you need to know how to play it, and that's what we're going to do next. Now here you can see I've put the formula of the major scale here, okay? And our formula is written out in tones and semitones. So if I play the scale on my keyboard here and I tell you the formula as we go, you'll get the idea. So we start off with C. Now we can see that our first jump is a tone up to D, and our next jump up, our next interval is a tone up to E. Then our next interval is a semitone. So I go to the next note, which happens to be another white note, which is F. Okay? Then we go up one tone to G, one tone to A, one tone to B, and we finish with a semitone jump that takes us back to C, which is an octave higher than that C. So don't forget, tones and semitones are not notes, they're the distances between notes, or the intervals between notes. So, starting with C, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And that is a major scale of C. C major ascending. So if I did the same thing starting from a G, this note here, so tone takes me to A, tone up from that takes me to B, semitone takes me up to C, tone takes me up to D, tone takes me up to E, a tone takes me up to not F but F sharp, and a semitone brings me to the octave where I started. So in that scale of G, I had to play F sharp there to keep my formula correct. You see? So we say in the key of G major, we have F sharp, and this is where our key signatures come from. And those 8 notes in our major scale, each one is called a degree. So the first one, the C, is 1, D is the 2nd degree, E is the 3rd degree, F is the 4th degree, G is the 5th degree, A is the 6th degree, B is the 7th degree, and C is the 8th degree. So 1 and 8 are the same, and that's called an octave. You see, 1 and 8 oct. So try and remember that formula. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So you play your first note, go up a tone, go up a tone, go up a semitone, go up a tone, go up a tone, go up a tone, go up a semitone. We also have what we call a natural minor scale. I'm going to go to the 6th note of the major scale of C. It's going to take me to A. Now I'm going to go from A up to the next A, and I'm only going to use white notes. So the same notes that I use for C major, but instead of going from C to C, I'm going to go from A to A. Have a listen. Now that was a very different sounding scale, even though I used the same notes. Why? Because starting with A, my formula is completely different. My first jump was the tone, well that was the same, A to B, but then straight away I have a semitone jump, B to C. And then I have a tone jump to D, a tone jump to E, a semitone jump to F, and then a tone jump to G and a tone jump to A. So this time the formula is play first note, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. Tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. And if you think about the third note of that scale, C, okay, from C onwards, of course, the scale is the same as C major. So we're starting our scale at a different point. Because we're doing that, we're having a different type of scale. And this is called A natural minor. So we say the scale of A natural minor has got the same notes as C major, and so it's relative to C major. So A natural minor is relative to C major, and C major is relative to A natural minor. The two are kind of linked. They've got the same notes. So major scale formula, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Natural minor scale formula, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. So very different. So I showed you that G major scale. I'll just show you once again. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp and G. Let's make the computer play it. Now notice the sharp sign in the beginning there. Right, so we're going to start with G and go up to G, and we'll check out the formula as we do it. So starting with the G, this is the G above middle C, so it's this note here on our real keyboard. So we've got G, tone takes us to A, then it's a tone up to B, a semitone up to C, a tone up to D, a tone up to E, a tone up to F sharp, and a semitone takes us up to G. So tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And the degrees of the scale, G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E is 6, F sharp is 7, and G, the octave G, is 8. Now, if I go to the sixth note of that scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, and I play the same notes from E to E, okay, I should have E natural minor. I'm going to start it down here, just a little bit above middle C. So I'm going to have E, F sharp, notice that F sharp comes a lot earlier, doesn't it? It's in the second degree of the scale. G, A, B, C, D, E. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. Same notes as G major. Instead of going from G to G, I go from E to E. And so my formula there was tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. And so E minor is the relative minor, or E natural minor is the relative minor of G major, and G major is the relative major of E minor. And you could do that the same for all keys, all notes on the keyboard. If you keep to those formulae, you'll have the correct scale. So that's the end of this lesson. It's a fairly basic one, and it's to get you started. I've got lots more lessons planned, so watch out for those. If you did enjoy this lesson, give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.